Hey class, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this, just hello. Um, Last week I had you create your thumbprints and then also start setting up your template of your uh, of where you're going to place your design. You all did a great job. If you haven't done this, make sure you upload it. Um, but yeah, the thumbprints came out great, and I'm seeing all of your templates completed, so that's great. For this week, and especially for today, more specifically today's assignment, um, what I would like you to do is start outlining your thumbprint, right? Transferring it. So you can see here I have my thumbprint I'm working off of and my template. Um, the reason you put the axis through it is so that it's breaking it up into 4 quarters, and it will allow you to really understand where those lines are forming. It's almost like a grid. It will help you to place where those lines should go. So my suggestion would be to number each quarter. So I put 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to do that on my template too. Then I really want you to look closely at the lines and where they're placed within each quarter to help you draw the lines of your thumbprint. So you can see, like, and I'll show you in my design, I started with this like circular pattern happening here, and that's kind of in the center of my vertical axis. And then from there I started noticing lines going around it and where they hit the vertical axis and then come back down. And then even how it changes um, throughout each quarter, right? And then up here it kind of comes out further and doesn't wrap all the way around. I do have like little lines that cut through, which I was like, what is this? They're wrinkles. You guys don't have them. I guess that's a sign of wisdom, people, of aging. Um, but anyway, so I would just look closely at your thumbprint as you're working and go back and forth between each. Um, and my suggestion would be to begin pinpointing where specific lines change. So I wouldn't start with one area and then start continuously adding and going from there. I would kind of spread it out. So you can see I started with like this circular area here, but then I didn't draw lines in between all of this because I was just trying to like figure out, okay, it kind of comes around as I look closely at it. And then around like this point on my thumb, it starts almost becoming like an arch. And then it starts really extending out more, becoming almost like straighter as it curves upward. And then towards the top of my thumb, it almost starts going down in like a diagonal. Okay. So I think this is a really good place or a good way to set up those lines. And then I would continue to add to. So when you look really closely, I mean, I'm not asking for 100% accuracy on this because we're also adding text to this, and I want to make sure that the text also flows nicely with the lines that you're creating. But you can make some lines closer to one another from this point moving forward, and then some a little bit further away, depending on like how big you're going to create text in certain areas. You can see I start to, like, from here to here to here, I start adding more and more lines. Now, this is my final refined outline of my thumbprint. I think, realistically speaking, I have way more lines on my thumbprint than I placed here. But like I said, you're adding text to this. Like, text is going, you want to also lightly draw your lines in because you're going to go in and erase all of this eventually because you're going to be adding text over all of these lines, right? So please draw very lightly. Do not put a lot of pressure on your pencil and draw hard because then it's going to be harder to erase those lines. But this would be my like refined sketch of my thumbprint. Which actually, I have a really boring thumbprint, but that's okay. So for but and let me just show you actually too. Because look here, you want to make sure you have a good distance between each line because you might make some text thicker in areas and some thinner in areas, depending on what you decide to do. So you just want to keep all of that in mind as we're working on this. But for today, what I'd like to see is about 75% of your thumbprint lines completed. So this drawing here is actually 100% completed. I would say 75 would be like this, right? So I did some of it. I mean, hey, listen, 75% or more, so you might have it all completed, but I'd like to see a lot of your lines completed, all right? And then the last thing I'd like to see from you today is not the actual, like every single word or quote or whatever you're going to include, but I would like to see your idea. So you can just comment and say, hey, Miss Dauble, I'm thinking about reflecting on my time in quarantine, or maybe I'd like to talk about a sport that you play, or a song lyrics that really inspire you. I decided that I'm going to talk about my life story, so I'm going to kind of create a timeline of maybe um, throughout the years of Miss Dauble, right? So um, this is what I want to see from you today, and then moving forward, next class period, we're going to just continue to move forward and complete our thumbprint, maybe have more ideas and so forth. If you have any questions, let me know. I do have a Zoom link that I've been sending each of you every day we have class. Please use it if you have quick questions. You look at it like my office time, so you could pop in and out and ask me a quick question. You don't have to stay for the whole time, but I believe your time slot is 1 to 1:45 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So my Zoom will be open during that time, so you can just sign in and ask me a question and then go back to whatever you're doing. All right. Enjoy your day.